Welcome in, everybody. This is your self-care staffing for Friday, March 20th, 2020. And today we're going to talk about the basics of coronavirus. I'm Lou Pascal. I'm a school social worker in Manchester City Schools in Manchester, Tennessee. And I know we've all heard these things so many times, but we're going to talk about it one more time today. And I've got some fun things to go along with those terms that we're all hearing left and right these days. So the ones we're hearing are wash your hands, social distancing, and flatten the curve. So wash your hands. I think the issues are we don't wash our hands long enough, and we don't necessarily do a real thorough procedure of washing our hands. So I've got some things to share with you that are going to be fun. I'm trying to have a little levity, keep it a little light for wash your hands. Social distancing, that's what we've been hearing a lot about. That is designed to cut down on the likelihood that one person will transmit the virus to another person. Okay, so that's why all of our schools are closed. That is why we're hearing the recommendation to not be in groups of 10 or more. That is why a lot of restaurants are you're not able to dine in the restaurant right now. You can pick it up to go or those kinds of things. So that's social distancing. Flatten the curve. So, and again, I'm not a medical doctor. This is not medical advice. I'm just telling you what we've heard and trying to say it one more time in a way that might be a little different and might help us all understand what we need to do to get through all this together. Okay, so flatten the curve. The curve is, they're referring to a graph, and on the graph, if we don't do anything, there's a very sharp spike in numbers of cases of coronavirus. And the issue with that is our medical establishment in the United States is not equipped to deal with all those cases at one time. So flatten the curve is, it's trying to elongate the period of time when people get sick. So it might be the same number of cases overall, it might be the same number of people that get sick, but we slow down the timetable on transmission, and so it's a more gradual increase of cases, and we can allocate our resources better, is the idea. So some things to share with you about wash your hands, social distancing, and flatten the curve. The first one is something called wash your lyrics. There is a young man who made an infographic about washing your hands. It's step by step about how you should wash your hands, and he coded it so that you could put your lyrics to your favorite song to accompany each picture. Okay, so the one that I did, and I'll link to the actual wash your lyrics where you can make your own, or your kids can make their own, and I'll also link to the one that I made. The one that I made, we're taking it country today on our song recommendations. I used the song Everything's Gonna Be Alright with Kenny Chesney and David Lee Murphy. And another song that I was thinking of would be, that might be something to listen to today, is called Ain't in No Hurry by Zach Brown Band. And the lyric that I'm thinking about is, he says, I'd be a fool now to worry about all these things I can't change. So that's what I'm trying to think about today in terms of worrying and the lack of control that we feel right now. So further on wash your hands, Arnold Schwarzenegger did a wash your hands demo on YouTube. I'm going to link that to you. And then a bonus, he did a video called Stay at Home, and he has these two donkeys. Their names are Whiskey and Lulu, and he's feeding his donkeys, and he's talking about social distancing, and he's talking about staying at home. So it is delightful. So I will share that also in the comments. And then in terms of social distancing and flattening the curve, there was one video that I thought described it pretty well, and it was ABC Science, and I think that's out of Australia. So I'll link that so that you will be able to learn a little bit more about those terms. So let's do our check-in. And I know we're not live, but I'm just asking you, how are you doing today? How's everybody doing today? Everybody okay? I will just say for myself, this has been a tough day. And so I am practicing acceptance, and I am staying in the moment. Staying in the moment, I'm asking myself, what is happening right now? And what is the next right thing that I can do? Okay? Trying to stay out of the past, trying to stay out of the future, trying to stay in the present. What's happening right now? What can I do for today? So I just made a list of some of the right things that I did today. Goldie Hawn, here's another one for you. Goldie Hawn has a foundation called the Mind Up Foundation, and she does a lot of mindfulness things for students. And on Goldie Hawn's Instagram, she did a brain break today that she talks you through, and it's really good. So I did that this morning after my exercise. Did my exercise, and we call our garage the Pascal Athletic Club. And so I was in the Pascal Athletic Club laying on the foam flooring after I was done exercising. And so I did this brain break with Goldie Hawn and the Mind Up Foundation, and that was really good. I figured out an easy dinner. It's going to be pasta, so that's a bonus. So that's some comfort food. I'm excited about that. And I drank my green tea with my honey. Green tea and honey both have antioxidants in them. And I think green tea also has some anti-inflammatory properties, so that is good for your body. Because I'm having a tough day and because I want to get my mind in a better place, I am considering a social media fast. I don't know if that'll be a, cold turkey, no social media fast. Probably not. But just trying to limit some of my social media today. And I thought I would just kind of give you some recommendations, some things to think about on social media. If you don't want to do a social media fast, just think about, there are probably some accounts that don't make you feel too good. So maybe you can unfollow those. I mean, I know I see things from accounts, I'll see things like, 3, 4, 5 times. And then I finally think, why am I following this? So I will just unfollow. Also, what I have enjoyed is following according to my interests. Okay, so whatever you're interested in your life, try to follow that. You might follow a hashtag about something that you're interested in. So, if you're interested in hand lettering, for example, like calligraphy, you might do hashtag hand lettering, and you could follow that hashtag and you could see all kinds of pretty hand lettering that people have done. And so that's pleasant to me. I like that. So for me, if I'm reducing my social media this evening, it'll probably be lots of pictures of knitting and probably some things about books and some pretty things on Instagram and Pinterest. That's probably what I'll be looking at. So I wanted to give you guys some quotes, and I've got 3. And the first one, y'all have probably seen or heard shared on social media lately, but this was attributed to, and I think this is correct, Dr. Daniel Heil, and he is a superintendent of schools in Smith Green Community Schools in Indiana. And what he said was, in the end, it will be impossible to know if we overreacted or did too much, but it will be quite apparent if we underreacted or did too little. So that's just something to think about as, you're feeling disappointed or frustrated about things being closed, or not being able to go places, or even, bigger things, bigger implications that are happening because of social distancing and flattening the curve. That's a good perspective right there. In the end, it will be impossible to know if we overreacted or did too much, but it will be quite apparent if we underreacted or did too little. Another couple that I wanted to share with you, and these are about like your thoughts. And I think next week I want to talk some more about our thought life, but I didn't want to start on Friday because I think it'll be something that I do for several days. But thoughts, I'm working on my thoughts being positive today. So this was one, thoughts and your time. And so I guess time, I'm thinking like, how am I using my time? Am I using it to worry? What am I doing with my thoughts and the time that I have? So this quote is, your time is your treasure to be invested. Your time is your treasure to be invested. And that's something to think about too with like scrolling through social media. I know I spend too much time doing that, and it's not particularly good for my mental health sometimes. So your time is your treasure to be invested. And that was Mike Maddock, and he is a business, I think he writes about business, and as the article was 10 resolutions the most successful people make and keep, and it was in Forbes. And then the second quote is, treat your thoughts like dollar bills. Don't waste them. Okay? Treat your thoughts like dollar bills. Don't waste them. And that was Sophia Amoruso, and she wrote a book called #GirlBoss. So she had a lot of good things in there about women in business and productivity and, you know, smart things to do with your life. So your time is your treasure to be invested, and treat your thoughts like dollar bills. Don't waste them. I'm also going to link you to, do y'all remember on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood where he did the visit to the crayon factory and he took you all the way through the process of making a crayon? I think that's cool. I like to watch things like that being done, and I saw it this morning, and his voice is very soothing, and I enjoyed it. So I'm going to link to y'all to the Mr. Rogers crayon video. So, all hearts and minds clear? If so, I'll see y'all next week. Take good care. Bye.